Boy up, it's D&D in the building. Purdue power, no ceiling. Yeah. Double D back, that's Derek and Dalton. Talking gold blood, Mackie been molten. Black and gold dreams, banners we folding. Paint crew loud, every rim gets swollen. Stats so clean, you think it's a scheme. History books get Purdue screen. From humble to E-Day, legends on replay. We run through March like it's just another weekday. Double the energy, talking that legacy. Boiler boys cooking, no recipe. Microphone magic, rivalry static. We breaking it down, keep it cinematic. You want the heat, better tune in fast.
Hello, welcome back to the Double D podcast. My name is Derek. As always, this is my co-host Dalton. We have been on a bit of a hiatus, mostly pretty much entirely my fault. I was out of the state for a while and just couldn't really find the time, or to be honest with this team lately, the energy that they can't seem to find either of late to really get on here. And I know a lot of Purdue fans for a period there were kind of just tired of Purdue content for the most part. And, there's always a mass amount of it. So kind of a reset for the team, here going into the tournament season, kind of a reset for us. We'll try to be a little more diligent about stuff. And, once there's a bracket and all that, we'll go through and we'll do our bracket and we'll kind of talk about the Purdue potential matchups and things along those lines. But today we're just going to do a little bit of a season in review, maybe just a little bit about these seniors and what they've meant, regardless of how this season's went. And then we'll preview the Big Ten tournament coming up. Obviously, we don't know for sure who we play yet. Could be IU. Probably won't be. If I know IU, they will probably lose and eliminate themselves from March Madness, which will be exciting for everybody. So what are your thoughts, Dalton? Just kind of on the, I think the last thing we did was probably the recap of the IU game. What are your thoughts since then? Obviously, a loss to Ohio State, barely beating Northwestern. We then lose on senior night to Wisconsin. The regular season's over. So these guys said they didn't care about it. They clearly didn't. And let's see if they care now.
Yeah, it was partially my fault too, because I just didn't give a shit to talk about this team, to be honest with you. Like, we planned on doing something for senior day.
We've been a bit fair weather, unfortunately. It's just
I'm not fair weather. If you're not going to give me something to talk about, I'm not going to waste my time. I could spend with my family doing cool things.
Right.
I don't know, lost 3 of 4 going out, lost, 5 of
7.
Yeah, 5 of 7. If you throw Iowa in there to be nice, really 5 of 6.
No, you got Indiana and Northwestern.
Oh yeah, 4 of 5
so
right there.
We've lost 4 of 6. There you go.
Yeah.
To close.
Still, whatever. That's where I'm at. The seniors, I'm gonna miss them. I posted just the same as everyone else. I'm gonna really miss watching them play, but I feel like they tarnished their reputation this year. By just not coming out and dominating people. Cool, Fletcher broke the 3 record. Braden might break the all-time assist record, but you'll be the team forever that almost. That's how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong and I deserve comments about this, but you'll be the team that almost. A 2-pointer from beating Houston. 1 game away from being natty champs.
Losing to a 16.
Preseason number 1, losing to a 16 seed when you had the most stacked team in the tournament. They'll be the seniors that almost. And they got some records. I listened to bits today. All that's cool. You started a lot of games. You overhyped a lot of things to us as fans. And that's why everyone's so critical.
Right.
That, Painter wants to get on the fan base. Tell your team to not talk about it then. That's where my head is at. It's frustrating as hell, man. I'm looking at the schedule of the year. We started out ripping off, 8 wins in a row before getting blown out by Iowa State. Then we win 9 in a row after that. And then something happened.
Yeah, I mean, that it all started to me like that loss to UCLA that we should not have lost. I mean, that was a game we had. It was a 5-point game, or no, yeah, 5 or 6-point game with 2 minutes left. All we had to do was dribble the damn ball out, and hit some free throws, and we couldn't get it done. And then the Illinois game happens, and all things said, we played pretty well. We just had a career night from a dude, and yeah, that's on the defense, of course, but when a guy goes for 46 that's of Wagler's level, I mean, I don't think we played terrible. I think we should have won that game for the most part. Our players played well. You just couldn't stop one guy. And that's kind of been the theme this season. And then really the cap of the season for me was losing at IU, coming off 2 losses. Then you come back after that, get a barely victory over Oregon. You barely beat Nebraska after a 24-point lead. You hammer Iowa, and people are like, oh, they're back. And I'm like, wait, we almost blew a 20-point lead. We barely beat Oregon. And yeah, we beat Iowa, but that's a terrible matchup for them. Everybody's talking about we're back. We make it look more competitive against Michigan. You blow out IU, and everybody's like, all right, we're here. We've won 5 of 6. We lost by 11 to Michigan. It's Michigan. Everybody loses to Michigan. And I don't think the Michigan State game was that bad, but we lose again in crunch time. And that's kind of been the theme this season. Like Braden making untimely turnovers down the stretch, this team TKR not hitting hook shots to win games. Like it's just been the clutch gene that hasn't been there. And with this group, you expected it to be there. So for me, this season is a complete disappointment. And Painter came to the podium after the most recent game and said, this is on me. I don't have this team together. Or I don't know. I'm not coaching them correctly. Okay, well, to me, that's complete bullshit. Like they've been together for 4 years. I should be able to go coach them. Like they should know everything. And I think what you've done, Painter, is you've made bad personnel decisions. You haven't got the right guys here that we needed to fill the gaps with these players. You bring in Liam Murphy, who gives you nothing all season long. You redshirt the 2 guys who potentially could have done something for you. You take until the last game of the year to finally sit Jakari Harris, who's been a complete zero. You've completely misused DJ, in my opinion. He should have been a drop coverage only guy when he's in the game. You have to change your defense with a guy like that. Same thing with Edey. But you don't do that. You high hedge him and you make him look like a fool. And I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves after this season just because of, the fans' interaction with his parents. I think he's completely mismanaged this team, and it appears to be more of the same coming in next year. Now, that all being said, and I know this is long-winded, but, we haven't talked in a while. For me, and yes, it's been how these guys will be remembered, to me, is still in the air. You make a run, you make another Final Four run, everything's forgiven. And I'm not saying you have to win a national title because I never bought into the national title or bust. I know the players said that. This dude, this might be one of the best years in college basketball history for like top end talent on single teams. Like you have multiple teams that are just jacked. The Dukes, the Michigans, the Arizonas, even Iowa State and some of these other teams. Michigan State's really good. Like there's a lot of really good teams here. And if you make a Final Four in this season, that's a good season. At that point, anything can happen. You're in Indianapolis. I think I used to think that would be a great thing. I think that's a negative now, that if we make it to Final Four, because these guys seem to fold under the heavy pressure, especially in front of their own fan base and their own families. So when I'm very encouraged by what we could do in the first couple rounds of the tournament, because we've played so well on the road and in neutrals.
Yeah. I mean, it's their game to lose now.
It's in their hands.
I guess I would say jaded a bit by this team. Just some of the things that were said, how things were handled.
Yes.
The defense is just embarrassing.
Yes.
At what point do you stop switching, and if your man blows by you, then
you're embarrassed.
It's yours.
Right.
Like, when do you do that? Like, you can complicate defense as much as you want, and at the end of the day, it's stopping your man from getting the ball in the basket.
Yeah.
That's what defense is. And we have to run this scientific, like, math equation defense. Like, I don't care about any of that. Keep your guy in front of you and stop him from getting the ball in the basket. I'm tired of hearing the excuses of personnel, this, blah, blah, blah. Defense is full 100% effort. Like, I watched Greg Miller slow down Deshaun Thomas.
I watched Grady Eifert be an incredible defender.
Yeah, I mean,
It's Grady Eifert.
Greg Miller had no he had no chance against Deshaun Thomas. You're talking an Ohio State recruit, shuts him down in sectionals. I mean, no, this was regionals actually. But yeah, like held him to like 14 points or something. It was his lowest season point total of the year. So it's all effort. And yeah, you can say other teams are more athletic, blah, blah, blah. How do we score so easily then? How's our offense so efficient? I mean, if we don't have the personnel, you would think that would go both ways. So how does that work?
It's a good question. I was just looking through some of the results. At Mackey, we've given up 81 to Iowa State. We gave up 85 to Penn State at Mackey. We won that game, but we gave up 85. We gave up, 91 at home to Michigan. We gave up 76 to a bad Michigan State at home, like bad offensively Michigan State at home. We just gave up 97 to Wisconsin. Like, these are unacceptable defensive performances. Like, every one of those games, like you scored against Illinois, you scored 82 points at home. You should win that game. Like, I'm looking at our losses. You scored 80 against Michigan. You should win that game. Like, you scored 74 against Michigan State at home. You should win that game. Wisconsin, you scored 93. That's 4 home losses. Iowa State being the exception. 4 home losses that you scored enough points to win the game. If Purdue scores 80 at home, that is enough to win the game. And the fact that we can't get it done, and for me, it's been in crunch time, but I think everybody that follows Purdue, whether they're a fan or not a fan, can understand this has been disappointing. I mean, it's impossible to ignore. I think everybody knows it. My only saving grace, not even a saving grace, my only thing I'll hang my hat on is that this team has said from the get-go that they did not care about the regular season. And I didn't believe them at first. I thought, it's just players. Like, we really want to win a champ, blah, blah. Maybe they didn't, because there was many times throughout the season that multiple players didn't look like they care. And maybe they just haven't. And this has been a big kind of just like, let's just get through this. It's almost like it's 3:00 at work and you just got to get till 5. I don't know that I buy that. That's just an excuse to me, but they're going to have a chance here shortly to prove it. Painter said, all of a sudden I like the Big Ten tournament. So that to me means they're going to go play to try to win that thing. So let's see how you do in a tournament setting, neutral, 1 day's prep. Like, you got to play on Thursday for the first time in 4 or 5 years. Like, you got to play an earlier round. You don't get the triple bye. You got a super favorable matchup. But yeah. So I think we've properly covered how disappointing this regular season's been. Let's go really quick, just like to your thoughts on this senior class, because regardless of how it all turns out and what they're remembered by, that's not decided yet, I don't think. But they have done a lot as far as, like, one thing I truly do respect from them, whether it's worked out or not, is they returned. And almost everybody else in the country didn't return to their schools that were on the same level, that could have got the same kind of money. That goes for all of them. Fletcher Loyer would have made a shitload of money in the market. Trey Kaufman-Renn would have made millions of dollars if he wanted to go somewhere. And they chose to stay at Purdue to chase this, this final season that they said was all about the postseason. So here we are. But what are your thoughts on these guys, their legacy? Braden Smith and Fletcher Loyer come in as 2 small little white boys that everybody's like, we're really going to start these 2 guys next to Zach Edey. And they lose to a 16 seed that year, but the next year they take us to a national title game.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Fletcher and Braden and TKR for sticking together and staying together. I don't know, man. Like I said, I think they are the team that could have. I think that will be their legacy, man. Like, I think we'll look back and be like, could have. they brought a lot of joy and a lot of good games, a lot of wins. They built the fan base to where you can't afford tickets anymore. And, respect to them. Really going to miss watching them play at Mackey when we go down there. We always knew we were in for a game when we went down, barring this season, I would say. And even this year when we went down, I never saw a loss. So,
Yeah, funny enough, last year I saw multiple. Like I felt like every game I took my son, we lost. We lost like 4 out of the 5 games we went to. This year we haven't
uh,
seen a loss.
yeah,
But
I didn't watch a loss surprisingly somehow. I
we
went
got to go watch
early.
that Alabama game last year. I mean, that was one of
Yeah,
the greatest games I've ever been to.
yeah,
Iowa this year sitting that close, the energy that last 10 minutes. Like you mentioned, one thing this class did bring to Purdue was national relevance every minute that they were on the floor.
yeah,
They from the second they stepped on campus, every year they've been here, Purdue has been number 1 in the country at some point. We have been a number 1 seed in the tournament twice. We have been a 3 seed now, probably 2 more times. This for everything that these two guys, Edie Merchants, maybe they are. I don't know. Their season isn't over yet. And it's hard not to be an Edie Merchant. He might have been the greatest college basketball player that's ever lived, or one of the top 10 for sure. So yeah, you're going to be an Edie Merchant. He's Edie, but at the same time, they've been great without him. Like as much as we complain, and because our expectations are so astronomically high, rightfully so. We've been a good team. We've been number 1 twice in both years that they've been here without Edie. They were a bad call from an Elite Eight last year. And the next game they probably would have won because of matchups. This year's not over, but I think you could do it again. I mean, my respect for these guys lies less about what they've done on the basketball court because they've done a lot. And like you said, they've gotten to many points where you felt like they should have went farther, right? But at the same time, what they've done just for the program, for loyalty, for reputation, Braden Smith has now become another guy that like, dude, what point guard doesn't want to go play for Purdue and have the ball in his hand every single second of every game? From a recruiting standpoint, seeing guys stick around for this long, being on the national stage, being number 1 in the country, constantly being ranked, just being relevant constantly, having an All-American again, having a guy who's literally being tracked every game to break an all-time record that stood for 40 years. I mean, sure, Jeremy Fears is probably going to break it again in 2 years, but that doesn't matter. It hasn't been touched for 40 years. If it gets broken again 2 years later, it just becomes a record where it's like, oh, the game has changed. But Braden is going to potentially break a record that stood for longer than we've been alive. Or, it's what they've done for the program is generational. What they've done loyalty-wise for me is probably the greatest thing. Any of these guys could have got a ton of money to transfer. Any of these guys could have just said, you know what, I want to go be the guy by myself. I don't want to be part of a big 3. Like, I want to go be the guy. Braden, Fletch, or TKR could have all went to another school and been more featured than they even are now. And I like you look at Bennett Sturts at Iowa. If Braden Smith would have transferred to Northwestern, 1, they would have been pretty damn good. And 2, like he would have played all 40. He would have shot it 25 times a game. But these guys aren't wired like that. They just want to win. They just want to represent the school. And at times, some of the shit they've went through, their parents on Twitter and other places have went through, some of it like self-brought on, but also like some of it not. And that's the only stuff that kind of bothers me because that does hurt future recruits if they see that shit. As warranted as it might be, but yeah, I just really appreciate these guys. My son, every time he gets a haircut, gets the Braden Smith haircut. That's what he tells the people. I want this haircut. Shows him a picture of Braden. Braden's a big part of why my son got so interested in basketball. Fletcher Lawyer, for as controversial as his career's been, like one of the most steady guys, and the way he went out on senior day, probably one of his best games he's ever played. Just super 6 of 9 from 3 all over the place. Thought he was even good defensively. You can't say he didn't want it. You can't say he didn't go out fighting. I can say that for, some of the other guys, but Braden has 20 points, 9 assists. Like these guys clearly their legacy and pride means something to them. And I'm glad that they wore the Purdue uniform for all 4 years, because seeing them play somewhere else would have been, just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the Big Ten tournament. We're going to move forward now. Okay. We're going to wipe away the last 4 months. Okay. We're going to forget that exists. Oddly enough, Purdue's a 7 seed in this tournament, which, again, we're wiping everything back. So let's just say, let's wipe expectations away for just a moment. Okay. Let's just assume that going into this year, we were kind of like last year. Purdue's got holes, but they got potential. Okay. Because that's really what it is. We have holes, but we have potential. We can go on a run. Purdue is the third highest, if you're betting on the Big Ten tournament champ, Purdue has the third highest odds to win it as a 7 seed. Thought that was interesting. Shows you, one, the odds makers' prediction and belief in Purdue, and 2, it shows you that Purdue's path is pretty easy. So I'm going to pull up the bracket here real quick. Do you have any initial thoughts on normally for years it's been Purdue doesn't care about this. Purdue doesn't care about this. I think Painter made it pretty clear that we have to care this year. And we got to do something. We need to prove.
I don't know why all of a sudden we care.
I think because we didn't win the banner that we thought we were going to win. So now he's like, I want this one.
He could have. I don't know, dude. I don't know why you would start caring now. That's strange to me, but
I think he needs his guys to show him that they can go win some games against good teams.
That's what I'm saying is why are our longest streak this year, was nine games.
Yeah, look at who we played in those 9 games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is once we got into tough competition, I don't know.
But we haven't beaten anybody good.
I'm very doubtful. I'm
very hopeful because I've wiped away the past.
You can't just do that for me.
I'm Hillary Duff. Let the rain fall down. Okay.
It's not how I work, bro.
I know it's not.
It's been so frustrating for me. I don't know. I'm a big defensive guy, and it
defense lives here, right?
No,
Did you see Boiled Sports' thing on his post game?
No.
His post game headline, he took out all the D's.
Yeah,
it was hilarious. He just put blanks under them.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It said something like "Efense live here."
Yeah, he's right on that. I looked through KenPom, and honestly, to be fair, defense hasn't really ever lived here.
No,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Looking back through Purdue's teams on KenPom, we've had some decent defensive teams, but
our best ones were with No Gel Eastern, who wasn't we weren't a very good team.
That's what I'm saying is I don't know where that came from, but
I think it came from the Chris Kramer day, the old days, late 90s.
I think that what it stands for is toughness, and I don't think we have that. I think outside of Trey, we saw Fletcher get a little bit tough last game, and I think they're capable. I've seen Braden get tough, but never seen all 3 of them at the same time this year.
Yeah, maybe we'll finally see it. That's the only thing I gotta try to because you know what, I'm gonna be disappointed if we lose. So I'm just gonna go into it hopeful, because if I go into it negatively, then I'm just not gonna enjoy it if it is good. I don't know. That's just kind of where my mind's at. I want to enjoy March Madness, we talked about, gonna take the first 2 days off. I really want to enjoy it this year and be able to cover it and talk about it on here. And if I'm just so negative about Purdue, which I have been, trust me, it's why I've had to take some time off for myself.
Don't come over here then.
Yeah, well, you can't affect me. I've been around you too much. You can't affect my negativity. I can really get in my own head though, and but yeah, I don't know. I'm just hopeful, I guess, because I'm not even hopeful for me. I just hate to see these seniors go out badly. Say we lose,
to see it too.
Say we lose in the second round, or God forbid, because the only high digit seed we haven't lost to is a 14, right? We're about to play one. Okay.
Yeah.
God forbid something like that happens. It will be one of the most catastrophic things that I can remember. Even worse than the 16 seed. If we somehow fill the 14 hole with this senior class it will be the most devastating thing to happen to Purdue basketball. Maybe since Robbie Hummel went down that year, we could have won the national title.
I'm talking our boy Isaac Haas went down. Talk about tragedy.
Yeah, another one. Yeah, I mean,
that was the Elite Eight year, bub.
Yeah, I just personally, if he doesn't go down, I don't know that we ever go on that crazy run with Klein and Edwards. I know we were good, but I don't know. That's a big what if game. The Hummel one was pretty much like we were really freaking good, and then we lose our Swiss Army knife. But anyway, we're getting way off topic here. Yeah, just hopeful. Okay, let's jump in the Big Ten
games.
Let's get to the Big Ten tournament. First game starts out. We'll kind of go through these, and then we'll get our overarching look on where Purdue stands in this. But first game is Maryland, Oregon. Don't really care who wins this, but I think I'll go Oregon in this game.
I'm going Maryland. Mills is hot. They've been playing tough.
They have been.
They played Illinois tough. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Maryland, honestly.
Yeah, they always have all these. They have 8 freshmen, so you never know.
They swag a little bit.
They get a little swag. They can make in their bracket. Their lineup here is not that tough till they get to Michigan. They could win a few. All right, let's go Penn State, Northwestern. I'm going obviously Northwestern here.
Yeah, I don't want to, and I don't believe in it, but I'm going Northwestern.
Yeah, tough to go against them. Then back to the top. So you're gonna have the winner of Maryland and Oregon versus Iowa, which we both have different winners of that first game. But who do you got? You have Iowa or Maryland?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sturts. He's a clutch player, and then they got Manyawa. He's looked pretty tough, and Banks.
Banks has been pretty good lately.
Yeah, they've been
comeback on Nebraska was pretty wild. They end up losing, but
I mean, that was tough. They're just an inch short every game, like Ben McCollum. So.
Yeah. Oh, and before we go further, I want to take a second to say, like, if you're not somebody who watches all these mid-major finals, you're crazy. Because these guys, this is their literally, none of these guys are getting in without winning their tournament. And to watch these final games and the excitement of winning, the crazy three-pointer, buzzer beater, like comebacks. I watched one the other night. The team ended up losing, but they came back from like 10 down with a minute left on some crazy shit. Like, you should watch them. That's all I'm saying. These tournaments are as good. The Champ Week is as good or at times better than March Madness because of the mid-major aspect.
It's hard to find the games most of the time. Some of these smaller conferences, like you really got to search it out. So
ESPN Plus is pretty good for that stuff, but yeah, it can be tough. Like, especially if you're trying to quad box it on YouTube, like they don't let you quad box a lot of these games. They're like, no, you shouldn't be watching 2 of these at once. It's not good for your health. Okay, so you go Iowa. I'm going to go Iowa as well. I just think Iowa's got too much for either one of these teams.
Yeah.
USC and Washington, kind of a little battle of like we had a lot of talent to start the year, but neither one of us have been very good. So who you got in this matchup?
Washington, Hannes Steinbach.
Yeah, I think kind of a legacy run for him. I'm with you. I just like what he can do, and I'm not a big fan of USC, to be honest. Chad Baker-Mazara ain't walking through that door, as they say. He's
gone. Thank God.
So we both picked Northwestern, so it's Northwestern and IU. Who do you have in that matchup?
I'm going to go Northwestern. I think they've been peaking at the right time right now, and what's his name? Chris Collins?
Yeah, Chris Collins.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he'll grab Tucker DeVries' leg, if it gets out of line.
He's known for it. Yeah, dude, I got him too. I got the Wildcats. For me, Indiana has been horrible this year in these big moments where it's like you win, you make it in. Like if they lose this game, they're not making it in the tournament. If they win, they have a chance. So, yeah, I'm going Northwestern. I think IU crumbles under the pressure. Rutgers and Minnesota. Yeah, weird one here. I'll start off on this. I'm going to go Minnesota. I think Nico Medved's just a way better coach.
Dude, Rutgers has been rolling lately, though. They've been tough. I mean, they've played doo-doo teams, but yeah, I'll go with Minnesota. They got that one white guy that can shoot.
Yeah, the Purdue wanted Cade Tyson.
Yeah,
I wanted for Purdue.
Yeah, we don't speak his name on here. So
I would have loved to have him. All right, so we have we're back to the top here. We are now in the not quarterfinals, whatever is before the quarterfinals. Iowa
The eighth
and
finals.
the 1/8 finals, the 0.125%. Iowa and Ohio State. This is like a sneaky good matchup here to see who gets to play Michigan.
Man,
And a big game for both of these teams. Iowa definitely for seeding, and Ohio State really would solidify them in the tournament for sure. They're probably already in, but would solidify them if they can just win one game here.
I'm going Iowa here. They have more to lose,
Yeah.
more to gain. So I'm going with that.
Yeah, I'm going to go Iowa too. I think Ohio State ends up in Dayton in the first four, playing probably somebody wild and probably losing because that's just Bruce Thornton's life. But unfortunately for Purdue, we let Ohio State in March Madness. So if they don't beat us, then they're not making it. Yeah, I would go Iowa here too, I believe. And then we have USC, or sorry, who would be next? Wisconsin versus, we both picked Northwestern here. So Wisconsin, Northwestern.
Yeah, I'm going Wisconsin. They might win the whole thing.
Is that correct? No, sorry. Wisconsin, Washington. My bad.
Yeah, I'm going with Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're just, Wisconsin's on a run right now. So yeah, I'll go Wisconsin as well. So right now, so far we have Iowa versus Michigan in the semis. Now it'll be Wisconsin and Illinois, and then the next game will be Northwestern and Purdue.
I'm gonna say Purdue gets them.
Yeah.
Reluctantly.
Yeah, I think that first game was a bit of just a blip on the radar. Like Purdue played really, really, really poorly in that game. I mean, and that's a theme, but I think Purdue wins. There's no way Purdue's going down that early. If they do lose that game, Purdue falls to a 4 seed, in my opinion. If all they have to do is win that game, and they're probably a 3 seed. They lose that game, they're 4. So then we have Minnesota, UCLA. Kind of like this matchup.
Yeah, I'm gonna go UCLA. They're balling right now.
Yeah, Donovan is on a fucking tear, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
What is it,
it's
like
his senior year.
58 assists and 2 turnovers in his last 5 games or something?
Yeah, and I mean they've won 4 out of 5 games with a win over Illinois and Nebraska in that time frame, and they weren't like, the Illinois game was by 1, but they blew Nebraska out.
Yeah, my only concern with UCLA is they don't play well away from home as they do. They've done very, very well at home.
Yeah,
Like, I'm going to take Minnesota in this matchup. I think either one of them is going to lose in the next round anyway, but I'm going to take Minnesota, I think. I think that's kind of one of my upsets here. I think UCLA sits for a while. They've been bad away from home, so.
yeah.
All right, so we have a slight difference there, but I'm sure the next round that'll get even back out. This feels like a pretty chalky Big Ten. Like, the top teams have been the top teams all year long, and very few have gotten picked off by anyone except for the top teams, outside of Wisconsin picking everyone off. All right, so let's go to the next round. We have, I think we both have Iowa and Michigan in the semifinals here.
Man, if you go against Michigan, you're an idiot at this point. Like, but they did only beat Iowa by 3, so could be a good game. But I'm gonna roll Michigan here.
Yeah, tough to go against Michigan. I just, outside of like picking a crazy upset here in the next round or the final game, tough to go against them. Yeah, Michigan rolls. I don't even know if it's close, but Iowa gets far enough that they help their seed line. Probably end up a 6 or probably 7 seed, to be honest. Next round, we have Wisconsin versus Illinois. Sneaky good game here. Wisconsin already beat them at Illinois. This is in Chicago. This will be, and Wisconsin's not far from Chicago either, so be an interesting game here. Who you got?
Let's take a look at what this season was. Matchups with those two. Looks like we only had one matchup between them. It was at home for Illinois, and they lost at home.
Yeah, Wisconsin beat Michigan, Illinois, and Purdue all on the road.
You got to go Wisconsin then.
Whoo, man, Wisconsin makes a big run here. They could push to like a 4 or 5, probably a 4 seed, even if they get crazy, if then they would win this thing. I'm going to go Illinois. I think it's tough to beat a team like Illinois twice. So we got a little difference there, but I think it's a good game. I really do. All right, we have what's next here? Would be Purdue versus Nebraska.
Going Nebraska.
Nebraska ball. Give me Purdue. Give me Purdue by quite a few points. Purdue handled them so well in the last game. The only reason I think they came back is just being at home and the energy and just feeding off of it. So right now you've got Michigan and Wisconsin in the top half. I've got Michigan and Illinois. Bottom half, you've got Nebraska so far. I've got Purdue, and then now we're down to you had UCLA and Michigan State.
Yeah, I'm gonna go MSU because they bounced UCLA earlier this year. So, and I think they just match up really well on that. Like Fears or Carr, whoever you decide to stick on Donovan Dent, he's not eating that day. So,
Call me crazy if you have to. I have Minnesota
you're
here.
crazy.
I got Minnesota knocking off Michigan State. They already beat them once this year. They're going to beat them again. I think it's a bad matchup for Michigan State. I really do. And if Minnesota makes it this far, I think Minnesota knocks them off. This also helps my narrative of Purdue getting to the title game. So, yeah, it's probably a terrible decision. I understand that, everyone. But hey, history repeats itself sometimes, even though I just said it doesn't repeat itself 2 lines before this. All right, so in the top half, in the semifinals, you have Michigan and Wisconsin. Who you got? Can Wisconsin do it again?
No, Michigan.
Michigan. I've got Michigan and Illinois. I just think they're too similar, and Michigan's a better version. So give me Michigan pretty handily, spoiling Illinois' miracle run in Chicago. Next round, you have Nebraska and Michigan State. Who you got?
Michigan State.
I have Purdue and Minnesota.
Yeah.
The miracle run of Minnesota ends here with 2 my Boilermakers as we handle them easily. Cade Tyson probably goes for 36, though. Just a guess. All right, so the finals. You've got Michigan and Michigan State. Oh, that'd be a fun championship game after what just happened in the last game, because the last game was fucking chippy as hell.
The trifecta.
Who you got winning? Who takes the title?
Michigan.
Clean sweep.
I don't see, if they don't want to lose in the Big Ten tournament, I don't see them losing.
Yeah, I can't argue with it. I got Purdue and Michigan here. Purdue has no chance against Michigan. If we see them at all in any setting, anywhere in America, they will beat us. They have everything that we cannot stop, and they can stop everything that we have. We just don't have a chance. Not for 40 minutes. We can keep up with them for 20, maybe 25, but we are not consistent enough to beat a team that's that consistently the same.
It's like UConn. It's like when we played UConn. I mean,
they do the same thing over and over, and they just keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming, and you just can't stop them. And then on the other end, they're elite defensively. You know, the only way we beat Michigan is if like Mara is severely injured and we shoot really well. Like if he can't play and we shoot great, we could beat him. But as long as he's in the game, we just can't. I mean, there's too much rim protection, too much rebounding. All right, so you've got Michigan as the champs, as do I. I don't think that's going to be I think they're minus 130 to win this. Like, that's an insane number for the Big Ten tournament.
111, that's why I didn't bet on it. I was kind of mad when I saw that, honestly.
Like, your value bets here is probably like Nebraska to just get on a heater. You know, if their shooting travels into this, honestly, actually, it's probably Illinois, being that it's in Chicago. The only problem with Illinois is they got to go through Wisconsin, Michigan, and probably Michigan State, which is anyone who wins this tournament is going to go through a gauntlet. Other than Michigan, Michigan only has to beat probably Iowa, and Illinois or Wisconsin and Michigan State, Nebraska, or Purdue. I mean, they got to win 2 tough games. But say if Purdue wants to get through this, I mean, they could potentially have to beat. Oh, who would that be? Indiana. Nebraska, Michigan State, then Michigan. Honestly, not bad. Like, what are your thoughts on Purdue's side? Because I think Purdue's bracket is really good to get to like at least the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, it is really good. And if we play like we have on the road or on neutral sites like this year, then good chance we run into Michigan.
Yeah. You just kind
But
of hope somebody picks Michigan off before then if you get there.
I just don't see it happening. And then if we play Wisconsin again, they do the same thing to us.
Yeah, that'd
Like,
be the funniest thing. They pick off Michigan and just beat us again in the title.
I mean, we got Wisconsin once this year on the road,
Yeah.
but I don't think this team is the same team that played on January 3rd.
Yeah, I guess I'm with you. I feel like my hope is that we get back there. Like we can be that team. My concern, and we talked about this before, isn't really any of the big three. It's not CJ. It's not Oscar. It's everyone. It's the role player, the bench guys.
Yeah.
They have been so god awful, and not
Yeah.
throwing shade individually or personally. Like this is just facts. Like the on-off splits for Clough and DJ are literally a 20-point swing every game. The on-off splits for CJ and Jakari, our two highest like on-off splits guys are CJ and Oscar. Our two worst are Jakari and DJ. It's a 20-point swing. And they like so you're going from a plus say they play 20 minutes each. You're plus 10 with the starters on and minus 10 with them off. That's such a huge swing in efficiency. And then you have Jack Benner who
big runs.
And Jack Benner just can't shoot. Like he's been so bad in conference play shooting the ball. And then you have like Omer he's fine. You know, let's talk just quickly about and I can shut this down. We've already went over this enough here. Just quickly about Jesus. It's funky. Because I've been having this discussion with people like my dad, with you, just people on Twitter. Like, what do you think? And it seemed like the last game was the first time we saw it. Like, what do you think the rotations need to be moving forward in the tournament setting? Like what minute kind of splits do you expect to see? Or I guess maybe expect isn't the right term. Like, what do you expect to see, and what do you think you should see?
So we're so statistically based as a team, yet we're not. Because when Oscar Clough plays over 30 minutes, I think we're like 6-1 or something.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that stat, please. But I know that we are far better when Oscar Clough plays 30 minutes. I would tighten up that. The only way DJ sees the floor is foul trouble, and even then we try to run Trey at the 5, small ball it. I don't even know what you do, man. Like, sit Jakari, because he's essentially a defensive Ethan Morton at this point. I mean, he's essentially Ethan Morton. And honestly, his closeouts aren't even good enough to call him Ethan Morton at this point. Like, he fouls 3-point shooters. He lets people get by him on closeouts. So I would, if it was me, CJ and Omer would split the 2 minutes. Jack and Fletcher would split the 3 minutes. And then Trey and Oscar, you better just stay in the game, like the whole game.
Yeah.
That's where we screwed ourselves with Liam and redshirting Riley.
And even Wes, because I think Wes could have been a good 5 to 10 minute a game guy for defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's not enough. If he's what everyone says he is, on-ball defender like that, then yeah, we screwed the pooch this year, man. We screwed it. Yeah, they got to tighten up rotations. I would go to 8, and my 8 would be.
Well, DJ is going to have to play some minutes sometimes because of.
Yeah,
fouls.
I get it, but Clough 28 to 32 minutes. The rest of the time needs to happen if he's not in dire foul trouble. And like I said, if him or TKR, yeah, I mean, he gets a lot of silly, but it's a lot of it's fouls that he shouldn't be getting.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Clough this whole year. Once we switch to that high hedge and we're running him, which he's way better at it because he can get back to the block and usually gets back in position. But that allows guards to knife into the lane at the same time. So I don't know. I don't know how you fix it. Play harder.
Yeah. I mean, tell me if you think differently than this. Like, to me, our minute splits, and I don't even care, like Big Ten tournament, sure, but like March Madness splits, outside of like if we're blowing someone out, obviously that changes a little. But in a competitive game, in the first half, first 30 minutes, and then any minutes after that are competitive, I think the minutes have to be your big three. Actually, I'm going to go Braden 40. Braden sat out plenty this year. He played almost 40 every game last year. He can play all 40. I don't want him coming out of the game. Braden 40. Fletcher and TKR have got to be 35 or more. Like, at this point, it's so obvious who our best players are and I'm going to go through Evan Miyakawa's thing here in a second to just prove this point. But they both have to play 35. CJ has to play 30 or more. Clough has to play 28 to 32, like you mentioned, whatever he's capable of. And then from there, I think you give I think Omer can back up CJ and Fletcher. So if they're giving up 15 minutes not playing, he can play the 15. And then Jack Benner can play whatever the minutes TKR is not playing, and then some of the Clough minutes, TKR moves to the 5. So call Benter 10 minutes, and then DJ as needed. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 8, depending on the game. And Jakari doesn't need to play in the basketball game unless it's out of reach. And I'm about to go through these numbers, and I'm going to prove that is facts. I love Jakari. I wish he was playing better and doing better than he is. He is statistically the worst player on Purdue, and it's not really close at all from an on-off margin. So these are the on-off splits. And if you don't know what these are, this is basically per 100 possessions. Purdue is X amount better or X amount worse per 100 possessions. Okay. So obviously, because we went through this about every game this year, Fletcher Lawyer is number 1 on the team. We are 26 points better when he's on the court per 100 possessions. Okay. That is pretty drastic. That's very good. Second is probably not who you think. It's CJ Cox. 24 points per 100 possessions better when he is on the floor. Funny enough, what's carrying Fletcher's total is defense on off splits, not offense. Funny enough. And the opposite for CJ. CJ's offense is making our offense better. His defense is still making us better. But anyway, third on the list is Oscar Clough, 21.9 points per 100 possession better. Then Trey at 14.8 and Braden at 10.5. Okay. So every single starter we have, we are 10 points or better or more better per 100 possessions. Now you're probably going, man, you look at just those numbers, we would be the best team in America and it wouldn't even be close. Right. Our worst starter is 10 points better per 100 possessions than the other team, essentially. Now you get into the bench, who this is going to prove that the bench is playing way more than they need to play. Jack Benner is the best bench player that we have by this margin. We're 7.9 points worse when he's on the floor. That's the best bench player we have. 17 points worse than Braden Smith, his numbers are skewed because he's in the game constantly, right? Omer Meyer is next. We're 14.4 points worse per 100 possessions. Okay. Then we get into the ones that are crazy. So I told you that Oscar Clough was 21.9 points better per 100. His counterpart, who plays his backup minutes, is Daniel Jacobson. We are 22.5 points worse per 100 possessions. If you do the math real quick on that, that is a 44.4 point swing per 100 possessions. So if you played 100 possessions with Daniel Jacobson, Purdue would be on average 44 points worse than its opponent. Oscar Clough played, or would it be 44 points worse than if you had Oscar Clough playing, according to the on-off split? That is a massive margin per 100 possessions. That's almost, what is that? That's 0.4 points per possession. That's the difference between a 1.3 points per possession and like a 1 or a 0.9, which is terrible. That's great versus terrible. This is where it gets really crazy. CJ Cox, I told you, was 24.1 better. And if this is confusing to some people or too many numbers, I get it, but I'm almost done. With Jakari Harris on the floor, we are 31.4 points worse per 100 possessions than just baseline. That's not worse than CJ. If you put CJ into it, we're 55.5 points worse per 100 possessions. That is 5.5 net rating on KenPom negative. Like it basically is if you're looking at that. So like if you would take our KenPom rating and drop it by 5.5 points, we would go from probably 8th in the country to 58th. Like it's that drastic from one single player. 55 points per 100 possessions worse than the guy he subs in for. He should not be in the game.
Nah.
I mean, he's played 800 possessions this year. CJ's played 1,100. It's not like you would think with those two numbers that one guy's played 200 and one guy's played 2,000 because that's what would make sense here. But that's not the case. It's mind-boggling to me that a guy can be that. And the crazy thing is it's almost all offensive. Like he is 20 points worse on defense on off splits, but he's 35 points worse offensively when Jakari's in the game. I mean, Evan Miyakawa put this on Twitter. Shout out Evan. He does awesome stuff, but he said this to the top of the post or as like the words behind it. It's not typical to have this big of a gulf from your top 5 players to the rest of your roster in on-off splits. Basically, he's saying this is really rare. Like normally because guys play together and they're intermingled and intertwined, like you don't see this drastic of a fall off. He said there is not a single neutral impact player on this Purdue team. So we don't have anybody that comes in the game and just kind of holds their own. You are either exceptional or you are exceptionally bad. The closest guy to being neutral is Jack Benner. And if you watch games, you probably expect that. You're like, oh yeah, Jack Benner comes in, he does his job, he doesn't really do anything bad, he doesn't do anything great. If he knocked down a few more shots, like Benner is a 25% shooter in Big Ten play. If he was 35, he would probably be a positive here. He just hasn't hit the shots. But the rest of them, even Omer, similar. But Jacobson and Harris, like all I ask is Matt Painter to look at this chart and go, oh, this seems like a simple fix. We just won't play those guys that are costing us between them 53 points on the negative. Like, and the worst part of it all is he plays them together.
Yeah.
He plays them together. And if Evan Miyakawa put this on something else he posted the same day that said Purdue's best 3 lineups all include Smith, Cox, and Lawyer, with the bigs being a combo of Clough, TKR, and Benter. So every one of Purdue's best lineups does not include Jacobson or Harris or Omer, any 3 of them. So to me, that says this should be a 6-man rotation with the other guys playing only when needed. Because you'll see that in March. There'll be a lot of teams playing 6 guys. You got to go with your horses when it matters most. Oh, gosh. I probably needed that, honestly, I was talking too much, dude. That was a lot of numbers to go through. But hopefully that made sense to some people. And, if that's my final beep of the year, it was probably deserved.
It's
final beep
not.
of the regular season. There we go.
It's definitely not the final of the year. We have a lot of podcasting still to do because other things are coming.
Oh, I was going to hold on a second. I was going to try to find that lineup that we always go to on here. It's tough to.
Lewis Jackson, Ryan Smith, Etwan Moore, DJ Bird, and Juwan Johnson, 78%.
What's that?
I don't.
What the hell is that?
I'm in KenPom on the 2011 Boilers.
Oh my goodness.
That was let's see, the most used lineup of 2011 for Purdue. Lewis Jackson, Ryan Smith, Etwan Moore, DJ Bird, and Juwan Johnson, 35.2%.
That's a high percentage of the same lineup.
I mean, yeah, that's what we should have done this year. Hopefully,
does it have a percentage on our top this year?
Yeah. Let me see. I'll pull it. Top lineup, most frequent lineup over the past 5 games. Okay, so this is just 5 games. Braden, CJ, Fletcher, Trey, Oscar, 29.7% over the last 5.
That needs to be 40.
Yeah, it's almost 30, pretty low. The next lineup is the same with Jack. We use that 6.4. Jack in for TKR. The next most used lineup is TKRM for Clough with Jack, 6.3. And then the next most used lineup is Braden, Fletcher, Jakari, Trey, and DJ, 4.4%.
So our fourth most used lineup is our single worst lineup.
Yeah.
And if you heard that, 30%, 6, 6, and 4. So there's still another 50% that's not being accounted for in random one-off lineups. That's crazy that gets that much play. And those numbers are always a little weird, but okay. I think we've made it pretty clear. These guys, we got to tighten this up if we want a chance. If we don't, and Painter goes stubborn Painter mode. But did you hear him after the post game? Did you hear our boy Brian Newbert ask a question about CJ or about Jakari?
No.
He said, "Hey, I really thought this would be a really good Jakari game to have two defenders out there. Just wondering why he didn't play very much." And Painter goes, he goes, "Well, it's not really anything he did." And then he went into this speech about how, sometimes you get to this point, blah, blah, you feel bad that guys can't play, but it is what it is. Like, I'm sorry, like, he's just not performing. It almost felt like Painter knew he just isn't doing enough. And I thought it was funny. He said, it's not anything he did. It's probably what he didn't do, if I had to guess. If I'm in Painter's brain, like,
he's supposed to be a defensive guy, but I watch guys blow around him because he can't close out on the 3-point line. And if he does close out, he fouls them. Like, you think people don't watch film and see that? Like, obviously, it's going to be a little different going into March. Not going to have as much time to watch film. Maybe
he has our single worst
effective.
Single worst defensive on-off splits on the team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, like,
by a lot.
He gets blown around, like, people just go right around him, quick guards. I don't understand what happened. The regression is crazy, and we'll talk in the off season. But for now, I don't. Try him out for a minute. Get CJ a blow.
Nope.
Get CJ a blow, and if he comes in and hits a 3, he buys another minute.
No, that's the worst possible thing. If he comes in and makes a shot, he gets more minutes. That's the worst thing I want to see.
I don't know.
I think that's a season long's numbers. Like, and it's so drastically him. It's like like it's so pointed. Like, it's him in everything. All of our worst lineups have him in it. He is by far the worst on-off guy. I get it. Like, he does good things sometimes, but for some reason, when he's in the game, we're worse. I don't know what it is about him. Maybe it's because he's like so one-dimensional on offense. Like, he doesn't drive. We've been asking for it for 2 years. He just doesn't do it. I'm not sure, but I do know that, like, if I had my dire wish, it would be that he plays a maximum of 5 minutes a game and that we don't completely collapse in those 5 minutes.
Well, unfortunately, you don't get what you want.
I know,
and Terry Johnson and Jack Lusk are still our defensive coaches. So,
yeah, and it just seems like a scheme, and there's a reason that it always happens to Purdue. Like, it's been a Purdue thing forever. Like, it always happens.
Dude,
to us.
It's just good luck.
Yeah,
these players are just like, they have a crazy day every single game against us. It is. Like, I don't see how you don't see that. It's just pure luck that it always happens to Purdue.
You want to know a fun way to know that that's not true? There's a weird thing that KenPom tracks, and it is luck. Actually, it might be that maybe this is the case. Purdue's luck is 242nd in the country by far, but Florida's luck is 313th, and they're 1 seed.
Rob Dyrdek used to have a saying that I really enjoyed, and it was my favorite, and it was make your own luck.
Yeah.
You don't have to get lucky if you play so good of defense that people can't breathe.
Well, yeah, and luck, the thing about luck is there's no one in the world that's lucky, right? Like, luck doesn't strike over and over and over in the same spot.
I don't know, man. I did hit that pretty cool parlay this weekend. So
yeah, but you've also missed on 400 other ones before that.
Hey, You
I'm
don't
just
know
saying.
that. I only show you my wins.
Well, yeah, that's what we do as gambling losers, dude. We're freaking scumbags. But yeah, I think that we just got to tighten it up. And like I said, I am hopeful. We're about an hour now, so we can hop off here. But what are we gonna do? Are we gonna try to do previews for all these games in the Big Ten tournament? We don't even know who the matchup is until the day of, essentially. I think it might be
Yeah.
easier to kind of just do post games, or
Yeah,
maybe like
we'll
a.
compete with bits.
Well, yeah, I know that. I'm not saying like a post game specifically. I'm saying like a daily, like so Wednesday we will, or well,
We'll
no,
just do an overall Big Ten tournament check-in each
yeah,
day,
like
and
we'll do one like each
go
day.
live for them.
Yeah, they can just be like a little 30-minute.
Yeah,
Hey, let's check
we'll
in.
go
What
live
happened?
if you want to come hang out with some fellow Big Ten fans. We'll be on. We'll try to do every day of the Big Ten tournament. As long as Thursday, you may have to go solo because
Okay.
I may be getting Pacers tickets from work. So,
Oh, fun.
but I don't know. I'm hoping it falls through because I didn't realize Purdue played that day.
Oh yeah, that is Thursday. Is the Purdue
And
day.
I'm also going to regionals at Logan Sports Saturday. So,
Oh yeah, I might be going. My dad was asking me if I wanted to go.
we're going to watch Homestead. So,
Yeah, so we'll have some stuff obviously, and then once Selection Sunday hits, we'll do something after that, just like a first look, and then we'll probably do a bracket thing Monday or Tuesday. Because the Selection Sunday show, like we'll do like our Big Ten tournament final recap / Big Ten reveal show. Once that's all released, and then
we're supposed to be on bench points too. So, keep an eye out for that.
yeah, we'll let you know. We'll put something on there, but appreciate everybody listening. Sorry we've been gone for so long. Obviously, things happen in life. We actually have families. I know that some people don't believe that we do, but we do have families.
They know I have a family.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Seems biased, but yeah, we do have families, and we do work real jobs and stuff. So unfortunately, sometimes we get caught up in that. And I don't know. Let's be honest. I don't think anybody wanted to hear anybody else be pissed off and talk any more than we already had to. If you're somebody who likes the bits style and stuff where, it's more upbeat, I like that sometimes too. It kind of gets me out of like I hate the world space, but then I go listen to Boiled Sports and I get back in it, and then I go listen to Sleepers and I just want to punch things. And, there's enough content out there that sometimes our rawness can be in a time of
locked on, and I want to yell at you.
yeah. Well, and our rawness sometimes in the times that it's bad can be tough to listen to, because like you're already mad, and like, it's like you're getting a divorce and you want to go talk to a guy who just got divorced. Like you're just going to sit there and be mad, it's
Talk to your ex-wife, dude.
yeah. It's crazy stuff, but we appreciate everybody who does listen. We're getting close to 300 subscribers. Would love if anybody who doesn't subscribe, please subscribe to us. It'd be great. We'll keep posting content, and we'll go live. Obviously, when March Madness hits, we're gonna try, I think, to try to do like a daily rewind recap show, maybe like a preview for the next day, or recap of the current day, preview for the next day, rather than just do Purdue ones. It's so fast in the tournament time. You have 1 day turnaround.
And we'll have Wally Zerbiak on the show to do that with us.
Wally Zerbiak and Steph Curry coming on the show.
And if we hit 300, Derek's going to do an episode without his shirt on. So
yeah, neck up only though. Sorry about your luck. It's not gonna be everything you hoped for, but it might be. Every once in a while, I might lift up and you get to see a nip or something.
One nip,
just a little nip slip. But all right, appreciate everybody. Sorry we've been gone, but we're back now, and we'll keep you updated on everything, and hopefully Purdue can get it turned around. Man, you got any final thoughts for these guys?
Nope. Boiler up, get it done, prove me wrong, make me look stupid.
Prove him wrong.
You do.
Prove him wrong.
I hope you do. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Peace out.